Welcome back to Copenhagen Blue. If you've lived in any of the rust states, you have at some point probably experienced the joys of a rusted out flex joint. This is a piece of exhaust that goes under your car, usually after the manifolds, to allow the engine to flex a little bit differently from the exhaust so that it doesn't crack or break. But they rust out pretty quickly. So today we're going to do one on the Saturn because I started to hear a little bit of noise and I couldn't help myself but go under there and start messing with it. So now it completely came off and she sounds like an open header race car, which is cool, but not cool to daily drive. So I'm going to give you a little taste of what she sounds like, and then we're going to climb under there and we're going to try and weld it. I'm not a great welder, but I do have a Harbor Freight welder and we're going to see if we can make it work. Let's get started. She's a little loud. It's kind of cool just to hear it, but not cool on a daily basis. So we're gonna have to get under there, clean off some of the rust on the exhaust pipe that exists, and then we're gonna tack it up and see if we can get everything to line up the way that we need it. Okay, so that flex pipe connected right here and then went all the way up to here. So we're gonna have to end up cutting this off and see if we can't get a new piece of pipe to go in between with that flex pipe that we have. Hopefully it'll clean up okay and we can make it all work. So one of the things we have to do is we have to make sure that our surface for mating up to is nice and flush. And as you can see, we're sticking out a little bit here, and this whole thing is a little bit jagged. So we're going to clean that up with a grinding wheel. We need to make sure. All right, might be a little loud. So the next step we have is we're going to use a little wheel here. I forget what these are called. 3M, like zip discs or something. They have a name for them. I forget. But we're going to use it to just get off that rust layer so we have something to weld to. If you don't have these, obviously not everybody has a compressor and a means of using something like this. You can use one with a drill. They make that attachment. Or you can even do it by hand. I'm just trying to save time. How's it looking over there? The welder that I have is like a step up from the basic one at Harbor Freight. It's a little bit better. It has a little chart in here. It tells you what gauge of steel you're welding. And usually exhaust is about 16 gauge. So it's saying that we're going to want a wire speed of 4, and voltage of 7. So we come on here, not voltage of 7, voltage of C. So we're going to turn to C, and it says that we want 4. So we'll see how fast that comes out. We have our wire fed. You can see, wire comes out of the end here with the squeeze of a trigger. And you just have to connect your ground to the pipe itself. Now all I can hope is that I don't burn my lens like I did last time. So we're going to clip this on. Oh, yeah, I should probably get my welding mask. That would be a great idea before I freaking burn my retinas. I'm so smart. There we go. We're just going to try and make a tack weld. Everything lined up. we got a little tack weld, so that's staying up on its own now. So let's see if we can't get some better welds on here to actually make it work. I'm gonna back you up a lot, like a lot, because I don't feel like causing trouble. The weld that we're getting so far, let's see if we can focus. Focus. Okay, so the weld we're getting so far is okay. It's pretty good penetration. The thing you have with old exhaust pipe is it'll blow through. It'll blow through the pipe as it gets a spot that's weak. It'll just burn a hole in it. But let's see if we can go all the way around and I'll show you the finished product. Here's the other side. Looks pretty much like absolute dog crap. And here's the other side. I don't know if it's just because of the angle, but I'm definitely blowing through the pipe on the other side a lot. So just got to keep working at it, try and weld up top here as well. So yeah, the quest continues. All right, so we cut off this with their hanger on it. We cut that off this away, and now we have our other piece of pipe, which has a little bit of an expanded end, so we can fit it over that pipe. Let me turn it over. Falling over. It's a little flared at the end, so that way it slips over the old pipe, which will allow us to get it on and then push it back and actually slides in to our flex pipe. So now when you look at the whole thing back here, you can see how much nicer it looks. Then we're going to weld on the little support bracket from the other one. We'll cut that off and put it onto this pipe so that way it holds everything up. Coming together okay. Alright, now that we have our pipe cut down here, we're going to clean it up just like the other one. And we have to actually make our ring to weld right around in this area. We have a pretty clean surface to work with. That should give us something to weld to. Okay, so we grinded down our little bracket here, cut it off the old one, and I ground it down so that way it's ready to go here, and we'll probably tack it up just about like that, so that way it takes the stress off the exhaust. Okay, well, it's definitely an art form for those that weld. I have a lot of appreciation for those that can do it. But we've got some boogery welds on there. Nothing amazing, but it's going to hold. I welded up better than I expected. Whoa. Okay, so that's not a horrible bead to lay down. Never get the GoPro to focus where you want, I swear. Decent bead laid down. A couple of spots where it bubbled a little bit, but I think we have pretty good penetration. Be able to get the rest of this done. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll come back in a little bit. One issue that I think I'm going to have is that this support bracket for the exhaust is going to be too short for that now that I've re-welded it on. And the solution I have is we're going to put a little nut on the end. That way it can't slide off the rubber. And if we do have to take it off, we can just put a socket on this and break it free. So just going to put a little tack weld in there. Okay, now that we have our exhaust welded up, we're going to fire it up, see how it sounds. Although I did find out that the front flex pipe, the little guy, decided that it had decided to exit the conversation as well. So it's not going to be as quiet as I'd like, but it's definitely going to be better. she's really loud now because, of course, I couldn't leave well enough alone in that front flex pipe, and I had to touch it and play with it and make sure that it was really messed up before I moved on. But I do have a little bit of a leak still right up on the top here of my boogery exhaust welds. So I'm going to try and take care of that one, and then we'll paint it, and that'll at least take care of the repair for today. Okay, so now that we have the welding done, we're going to throw on some high temp paint. That way it protects our welds along with the fresh metal, so it doesn't rust as fast. It's still going to rust, it's Michigan, but the longer we can prolong it, the better it is. And then we'll take a look at everything and see how it all came out. Just a quick coat of high temp paint. Yep, this will hopefully keep everything happy for at least some time to come. We've got that exhaust painted up, which is pretty cool. Let's take a look at it under there, see how it came out. It's nice and black, and that's protected. Obviously there's no point in really doing the flex pipe because that'll probably just end up coming off, I think, more than anything. Overall, we have to do that flex pipe up there that decided it wanted to crap out, and then there's plenty more rust to fix on the Saturn. She's a never-ending project. So in the effort of testing, I'm gonna try something kind of shady. Maybe not shady, but just stupid. So we have our flex pipe here that broke, and I tried to weld it, and you cannot weld flex pipe. It gets way too thin. But what I'm thinking is if I take a little crescent piece of metal here, that was my test piece, and then kind of weld that over our big gaping hole, maybe, just maybe, it'll be a little quieter, at least until I can get a new flex pipe. So we're going to try and just kind of weld that in there and see how it sounds. Okay, I'm sure that is pure crap, like grade A crap, but I'm going to see if it's any quieter. So we'll start it up and see. I'm gonna say no. I'll say probably not any quieter, but at least it was fun to try. Okay, so we got everything welded up. Is it the prettiest? No, but I'm learning how to weld, and that's what I've really wanted to do. So it allows me to kind of do it as a hobby. Hats off to the people that do it all the time, because damn, that takes a lot of work. But we got everything fixed for the most part. We still have that one flex joint to do. We'll get that taken care of on another day. But threw a little high temp paint on there. That should help things stay a little rust free for a while. But thanks for taking the time to watch. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.